Welcome back to a new video. This is the last workout of the 5th week, and everything went really well in this session. So I was trying to work out pretty fast because I went with my roommate and I didn't want to make her spend a ton of time extra at the gym, but I had quite a bit of work that I needed to do, and I put off a little bit of it until tomorrow, just because there's some of the pulls, but I'll talk more about that in a little bit. The first exercise here, as you see, are hang snatches. They're originally hip snatches and hip clean and jerks, and I didn't want to do those because I just don't really believe in them. And I've honestly been really liking the hang work above the knee. I've been feeling my speed, I guess just more snappy underneath. Like even with these 80s, just looking at it on video, it just looks like I'm doing a better lift than I had done before. Obviously I'm catching it solid, but it's only 80 kilos, so it's not that big of a deal for my upper body, but it looks better than before. And there's obviously always going to be little things to improve, but that was one thing. I was kind of looking at it a couple times as I was editing it, and I was like, it kind of looks like I'm moving faster. Maybe that's just me being delusional, which is certainly a real possibility, but certainly was feeling good on this day. Even on 80 kilos, I can kind of tell like everything is moving well, even with my back being a little bit tight from yesterday. This is 85 for that double, and all these sets were feeling really good, and I just kept adding 5 kilos. I even added, I think originally it was 4 sets of doubles, and they were at 85 kilos. I started my first working sets, like I mentioned, at 80, and then just kept adding 5 kilos as I went, or I did the first 2 at 80, then added 5 kilos from there, and they just continued to feel pretty good. I think 95 was the first one where I felt a little bit of struggle, but it wasn't anything that was too crazy. It was just a little bit out in front, like on that first one, then a little bit on balance on the second one. So not the cleanest set, but just everything was just feeling really precise. I think 100 here is where it really started to feel a little bit heavy, and then when I got to, so that first one was definitely a little bit forward, and the second one was a lot better. On this first 105, I missed the second rep, and then I came back and was able to do the double a lot easier. The big difference I made on the second one was just being more aggressive on that second rep and just trying a little bit harder. I think I took it a little bit for granted. Another kind of weird thing I was thinking about as I was pulling under the bar was trying to pull up with my pointer and middle finger, or at least like having them pointed down. So one cue that people can think about is having their knuckles down, and I really just focused on those 2 fingers and kind of trying to turn them over as fast as I can. And I don't know if that directly helped, but just kind of probably helped me focus a little bit more on turning over a little bit more aggressive. The second exercise was hang clean and jerks instead of doing hip cleans. I of course have been doing hang from both snatches and cleans, and honestly for both clean and snatches I've been really liking the hang work. And I haven't done any of the hip work that's been prescribed because I just don't believe it's good for technical development, like I mentioned earlier. But the hang above the knee I've actually been liking, and I think it's actually been helping, so I do want to continue to reinforce that. Jerks have also been feeling really good. As you see here, like I'm not spending a lot of time, and I'm just going as fast as I can once I have it settled. I'm not trying to go, so I'm trying to wait just a little bit because it is kind of like bouncing around in my front rack, so I don't want it to be like too crazy bouncing around where it's not settled at all, because I don't really think that would be a valid lift. But as the weights get heavier, then it doesn't really happen too much. The weight is enough to keep it stabilized on my collarbone. It's not truly bouncing around. This was the 130, so this was like kind of a top set, I suppose, of just the 1+1. I wanted to do 2 more sets potentially, but I was getting a little tired, so I just went up to 140 and decided if it felt good I was going to try to do a 1+2, because I was going to do 135 and then come up to here on my last set. Just like with hang snatches, I added 2 additional sets to the workout, but in this one I kind of combined, I suppose, the last 2 sets. So instead of doing 135, I just did this 1+2 with 140, and I was pleasantly surprised I was able to do it. My right hand actually, like my wrist was kind of cocked back a little weird on it, so my lockout on the second rep wasn't that good. But it's a second rep of a jerk double, so anytime I can do 1+2 with 140 certainly is a good day. Back squats didn't feel bad, but they also didn't feel too great. My IT man, that's where I started to feel it a little bit. I felt my lower back a little bit as it was pumped up from everything else that I was doing, and I was just trying to be a little extra cautious, so I kept all the sets here. I just did the 3x3 that was prescribed, and it was actually right at this weight. I think it was originally 176. I mean, so 175, not too big of a difference. Just trying to do them without any break in between and just get the work in, and really try to make sure that I don't do anything to re-aggravate and kind of spasm my back. After this, I was done. I have pulls that I need to do tomorrow, some snatch pulls, but I'm not too worried about throwing them in on a Sunday, and actually be kind of a nice thing because I'm not worried about doing them no matter what the temperature is out tomorrow, so I'll be able to get them done as well as some just general recovery and accessory work. So I might do a mic'd up video of that, and so there'll be some actual lifting, not just me stretching and stuff. But yeah, really productive end of the week. I was pleasantly surprised how well my back loosened up and just how well everything was moving, and I hopefully next week gives me some more good lifts and I can just continue to build this momentum and hopefully, start being able to hit more than 120 on these heavy days on the snatch, and just continue to be able to hit like 155 in the clean jerk and whatever variation I do, and just continue to have productive days for the most part. But that's it for this one. I'll talk to you all in the next video, and I hope you all have a good day. Peace.